Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's BullCharts user group webinar. I'm recording this because I think some of the information that we'll be talking about and showing is useful, and I should post it to the web, put it into our collection of YouTube videos. We're getting underway. In this session, I'll be showing some slides. They're not PowerPoint, it's the free version LibreOffice. Some slides. I will demonstrate BullChart software and coordinate discussion. Don't forget the disclaimer. If you pick up any tips tonight, we encourage you not to put them into practice. But if you do and you make some money, let us know. Post us a check. Will be greatly appreciated. The agenda for last week's Melbourne meeting, last week, Tuesday, the 19th of November. And for tonight, it was intended to talk about how to discover the market and stock movements in BullCharts. There are a number of tools that can be used. So the plan was to go through that. We did that last week in the Melbourne meeting, and we'll do that again tonight. I've got a few slides as usual to help guide discussion. So tonight, discovering the market and stock movements. So the few slides that I've got help guide discussion, and I think it helps learning because I know a lot of people take things in when they see things on the screen as well as listen to the audio. So tonight we want to look at finding how to find strong sectors or strongly performing stocks. Now, just as a way of introduction, many users of charting software like BullCharts use BullCharts to produce price charts for specific stocks so as they can review the share price performance or to apply chart indicators and draw a conclusion about price strength or trend. So many users use BullCharts for that purpose. Or they might run a market scan to identify stocks with a share price performance that meets certain criteria, or they might be looking for bullish observations based on indicators. Okay, that's fine. And they might do this on a subset of the securities in the market, not all 2,000 plus securities. They might have their own stock universe, which is a subset of the stocks in the ASX. In addition to all of that, BullCharts includes some tools that many users are not aware of, and tools that could be used to help identify strongly moving securities or strongly performing sectors. So if you are looking for specific stocks that have outperformed the market today, there are a couple of tools that you can use. If you're looking for a strong sector, there are tools that you can use. And we're going to have a look at those in BullCharts. The ones we're going to focus on initially are behind the BullCharts menu, Actions, Market View, and down here, Market Map, Scatter, Pyramid, GIG Sector, and Sector Performance. So that's the menu item there, Actions, Market View. And there is a knowledge base article in the BullCharts knowledge base about Market View, this menu item, and I'll just show you how to do that. I've got to find the right browser. If I go here and go to the BullCharts knowledge base, and I can do that by simply typing in KB, and my browser has got this URL stored in its recent history. And in here, type in market and view. There it is, chapter 21. So there's a whole chapter in the BullCharts knowledge base that talks about market view. And the options we'll be looking at tonight, plus more. And it's got some samples. And that goes down and on and on and on. And it includes some comments and key points that I might not include tonight. So it's worth having a look at that in the BullCharts knowledge base. So next slide. So here's the BullCharts market map. Now, the way I understand it, this market map only looks at a comparison of the latest end of day data in your database compared to previous day. Or if you've got live data or snapshot data, it can see the data during the day. And there is an option, I'll just pull it up. actions, market view, market map. And close BullScan Manager. So here's the market map for today. Now, I think I've got today's data downloaded. It's late enough. So this should be the performance of the market today, stocks in the market, sectors in the market today compared to yesterday. If any of you have live data, and if you tick this auto refresh box, then during the day, this will refresh during the day. And there's a countdown number there. It looks as though it's going to refresh every minute. I don't want to do that tonight. Nothing's going to change. So let's go back to what was displayed. Now note in the drop down here, we've got 4 different things we can look at. We can look at volume, sales value, number of trades, or market cap. Now these days, a lot of people like sales. Note here in this drop down, we can search the whole of market or one of the sectors or an industry. Just to keep it simple, I might go down to information technology, maybe software services, and we can limit the price range to view if we want. We can limit that to something else. At the moment, it says between $0 and more than $50. Click on the view button to refresh the screen. So here you can see the sector, subsector, industry title is software and services. And this fills the screen. Now, the guys asked a good question last week, and that was, in this market map, there are colors, but what do the colors mean? Now, when I last looked at this several months ago, the screen also showed a legend. It doesn't show a legend anymore, and I don't know why. But if you go to the knowledge base here, there is what the market map used to look like, and it gives you a scale to indicate price movement in the case of price, even though we're looking at volume. So it shows you the scale from red through to black being neutral and then to green and shades of green. So over here on the black, we've got close to 0 or equally 0 price change, whereas this light green one indicates, see the price details there. It says price details $12.04 plus $2.64 or 28%. It shows you the volume, the sales value, and trades and market cap. So at the end of the day, if you're interested in a sector, or maybe all sectors, then this might give you some clues as to which ones to avoid, or maybe look at going short for tomorrow. There's APX, or which ones to maybe look at going forward. There's the stock that I hold, 360. I still hold it. Let's go back to all of market, whole market, and we're still looking at sales value. Let's view, update the screen. So on this screen, what we just looked at, software services, is this little area down here. Notice as I hover the mouse cursor over any one of these cells, it shows me information about that security, that stock, even the tiny little ones in the real estate sector. And from here, you can click on any one of the cells here and drill down to that sector. And it's easy to go back by right-clicking somewhere and choose back. And it'll just go back to the previous screen. Well, that should go back to all of market. There it is, whole of market. Whole market. Can anyone see any use for that going forward? Happy to open up the lines.
David. Over there, Robert. I think it's, when you see that amount of red, it's a bit of a warning sign that things are, let's say, flattening off. The market's been reasonable over the last few weeks.
Mm.
To me, that's sort of. I presume you can't do it on a weekly basis. You can only do it on a daily basis. But
Yeah.
to me, that sort of says a bit of caution. The world's not going to fall apart, but maybe just have a think about what's happening, and that to me is what I get out of it. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, David. It's interesting here that there are a number of largish red cells in this one sector, the metals and mining sector. And there are no cells that large anywhere else on the screen, which suggests that maybe a portion of the metals and mining sector is bearish in this one session. I think I should add too that an observation that, or a conclusion that we came to last week when we were looking at all of this, is an acknowledgement that this particular feature has been in the BullCharts product for as long as I can remember. And that's about 20 years, nearly 18 years that I've been using the product. So I'm guessing, and I haven't asked Brennan this, I should, I'm guessing that this particular feature, like some of the others we're about to look at, I'm guessing they were put there for brokers and day traders many years ago as perhaps as the original core part of the product. And in those days, of course, those people didn't care about weekly data, they only cared about daily. Any other comments about this one before we move on? I'll just change that from sales to maybe volume, which we know is not quite as useful. Don't forget, a lot of large cap stocks are traded on another exchange. It was called Chi-X, it's now called the CBOE exchange. And it's reputed to be about 20% of the daily turnover. So the volume here, for some stocks, a number of them, is not the full picture because BullCharts only shows us ASX data. It doesn't show us Chi-X CBOE data. So in terms of volume, these large red cells are still large and red. Volume 48 million. 48 million. Volume 103 million. And BP8, 46 million. Share price moved $0.001, 1 cent. No, tenth of a cent. It's up 33%. Wow. That was BullCharts market map. The next item to look at and chat about possibly is the BullCharts market scatter. Now that's what it looks like. And these days the screen looks similar to that, but a little bit different. Actions, market view, market scatter. It's the next one on the list. And here it comes. Now, that looks a bit small on the screen. In the top right corner, it tells us that the x-axis currently is market cap. The other one is currently volume, coloured by industry. And the size of that scatter diagram is small. If I make that large and view again, it makes it a bit bigger. So each dot here represents a particular stock or security. And if I hover the mouse cursor over one of them, you'll see on the right-hand side over here that the name of that security is shown. So the market cap is across the bottom. The largest cap stock is this one. And it says there, CBA, Commonwealth Bank. We know that's the largest stock on the market. And this one will be BHP. Third largest is CSL. And they're not right up here at the top in terms of volume, nor down the bottom. They're in the middle here with a volume traded of between 2 and 10 million. Up the top here, we've got most volume with a stock called Rate and Resources. And at the bottom, we can see its market cap, $50 million. And we could ignore, some people ignore small cap stocks like this one, Orbital RTS. So that's got a market cap at the bottom there of about, what's that, 50 million? $50,000. $50,000 and traded today at just under 200,000 shares changing hands. Now, the y-axis, yeah, that's right. Market cap was on the x-axis, volume on the y. We can change that to sales. Do we want to look at market cap or something else? Maybe percent change, view. So across the bottom, we've got price movement, and vertically, we've got sales value. So the most highly valued stock today was up here, BHP and CSL. And down the bottom here, the other extreme is ASP, Aspermont, and Watso. And horizontally, there's not much variation here in percent movement because that scale is more than what we need, except there's one stock here, Boom, which in terms of percent movement is right out here at about 900%. So maybe that's influenced the scale. Limit the X range, click that and view. Does that change that? Bit better. So there we go. There's the market scatter. The next one to look at is the market pyramid. Here's my screenshot of it that I took, but let's have a look at it in real life. Maybe we'll close the scatter and the map of the market and go actions, market view, market pyramid. That's a bit small. And this is the ASX exchange for the whole of market. And we're looking at stocks as opposed to options, warrants, or everything. I think we'll just stay focused on stocks. I don't know anything about anything else. And click on view. I didn't choose energy. I thought I had whole of market. Where's it gone? There it is, whole market view. Okay, so all industry groups. So these are the industry groups. And we can see which industry group has performed or not performed today. The color coding, I think, is probably fairly obvious. 9.678% improvement with that industry group today. Down the bottom, we've got semiconductors. Let's have a look at semiconductors. This is on the Aussie market. 4 stocks, 4DS, AX, WBT, and BLG. So one of them was up 1.2% and one was down 14%. Okay, interesting. Let's go back. Let's have a look at the performing industry group. This is capital goods. And we can see the variation in price performance today for these. There's Bowl up 900%. No symbol matched your query. Is that right? But it's on the mat on here. OECR was up 50%. And there's the security summary for it with information about it. And if I want to go back to the previous view, I've got to go back. Right click and back. Let's produce a new chart for this and see what the chart looks like. There's only 1 day of price action, 2, 3, 4 days of price action. Interesting. Arrange windows, tile them. There we go. Yeah, so there's the market pyramid. What's the next one we've got? That's the market pyramid. Jig sectors, this is all tabular. And you can use the drop downs across the top of the window to customize the view, change the sector or industry or the sorting by. Let's have a look at jig sectors. Close this one. Actions, market view, jig sectors. Please select industry sector to view the current traded stock. Let's just view energy. Why don't we do the IT software and services like we did before? Sorted by percent movement, show top. for the period, the latest period, not the previous. So here's the movement, 29% for IFG, and so on down to the bottom of the stocks in that sector. Now notice in the bottom left corner, we're looking at entries, stocks, 150 of 118. And on some of these screens like this one, you need to click on that little right triangle there to go to the next group of 50. So there's a whole lot there that had zero change in price today. And then we get down to the negatives. And if we scroll on to the next 18, there are the bad ones, the losers. I could have sorted that by movement bottom view and put those ones at the top. There you go. Does anybody watch a particular sector or subsector, industry group from day to day?
Robert, David here.
Yes, David.
I tend to run a scan on the indices.
Yep.
So maybe over a week or 3 days or 20 days, just to get a feel for what areas is where the strength is. And of course, it's been mostly information technology and So I just run a simple scan of the indices, the Australian indices.
Yeah. Now, when you say indices, last time I looked, we had a grand total of about 32. Oh, we've got 51 in Security Manager.
Yeah, no, it's not that many.
And I'm sure you don't look at all of those.
No.
I'm guessing
I just
the ASX
like the
200?
Yeah, ASX 200, there's 300, 500, small ordinaries, financials, gold, energy, materials. There's probably about 8 or 10 in the ones I've got. Healthcare is another one. Yeah.
They sound like the 11 major sectors in our market.
Yeah.
And on this list of indices, it's generally the ones that have a J as the third letter in the index symbol. So the first one here is consumer discretionary, then energy, then financials, healthcare, IT, and they've got, the name has brackets, sector, to indicate that it's a sector. The XMJ is the materials, the industrials, the A-REITs, consumer staples, communication services, and there's the utilities and the financials excluding the REITs. So I'm guessing it's those ones. You've probably got a watch list with just those entries listed in it, I would imagine. Let's move on. BullCharts sector performance. So that's a list of our major sectors. Is there 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, 11. I noticed a floppy disk picture at the bottom. So maybe what we can do is save that list to a floppy disk, he says jokingly. The younger people of today wouldn't know what a floppy disk is. There it is, floppy disk. Do you want to open or save this CSV file? There you go. We can save it as a CSV file. So sorted by volume or maybe sales value and grouped by sector for the latest period. That's the latest period. And I note once again, there's the auto refresh option. So if we had live data and we were watching this during the day, this would change, I would imagine, every 60 seconds. Yeah, there's the countdown. I just started. It's gone. There it is. There's the countdown. 60 seconds, it'll refresh. Tonight, of course, it won't change because the market's not open. So information technology today, 73%. This is sales value as opposed to 7% for the financials. Volume, what's that? 2,000 million, 2 billion. And there's the sales value. We could group by something else like trades, perhaps. There it is, sorted by trades, and 22% of the sales value today was materials. Trades. That's the number of trades. Oh, there we go. Number of trades. That's not sales value. This one is sales value. That's what we looked at first. Sales value, 73%. And then we looked at the number of trades. So then that's this column here, trades, the one with the asterisk on it. I wonder what industry group looks like. There we go, all the industry groups based on trades. Now, a lot of people think that trades is not as useful as sales value. So I'll have a look at sales value for the industry groups. And now IT doesn't rate near the top this time. Interesting. Okay, so what we're looking at there is the BullCharts sector performance option on the menu. Let's move on and have a look at the comparative percent performance. Now, we did look at this once before, but it was probably a couple of years ago. But having said that, it was probably pre-COVID, which is now 4 years in the past. This is a view, this sample chart is Commonwealth Bank, that's obvious. And this is comparative percent performance of CBA versus the financials index, or the sector, if you like, out of the XJO 200 stocks. Now, if you wanted to know what stocks are in the XFJ, you'd have to go up here and have a look under index composition, S&P ASX 200 financials. So it's these 29 stocks that are in the financials sector within the ASX 200, the XJO. So this is, the candles are Commonwealth Bank, the dotted line is the XFJ sector index, and the vertical axis is percentage change in price since this red dotted line, which is back in early October, about the 1st of October this year. So that's showing us that Commonwealth Bank has outperformed the XFJ. Now, for those of you who sort of watch the market, that's going to be a no-brainer. Saying, yeah, that's right. And this was as at the 19th of November. The next slide is very similar, but it shows 3 more coloured lines on it. Now, they're explained across the top of the chart here in the header bar of that price pane. Westpac Bank is purple, that's the purple line. They're all zeroed back here, same date. Westpac was underperforming for a long time in terms of percentage change. ANZ is the green one, the solid green one, and NAB is the red one. So that's comparative percent performance. Now, don't forget, you can produce that using the percent toolbar button. If I go back to BullCharts, I can, first of all, I've got to have a price chart up. So let's reproduce what I've got there. Have a chart of Commonwealth Bank. We don't need to see the volume moving averages. Oh, and it fell today, $5.68. It says it up here. Now we can produce a comparative percent performance, this percent button toolbar button. And you get this dialog box. And we can, this start date says 0, what we're comparing at that date, 2nd of October, which is back here somewhere. Include the sector index, and if you want to compare to other stocks, you can type in the code, but you need to know what the code is and put a comma between each one and no spaces. Click OK. So that should be like the other chart I had here. Should be like that, except the style is different. What you can do with each one is go in and manually change the parameters. NAB, I think we said it before, was red. I can right click up here. I'll just wait for the drop down menu. On my old computer it runs a bit slow. I'm clicking up here because it's just an alternative way of changing the properties, the style, the color of the particular item on the chart, that particular stock. So NAB line properties, style, make it thick, color red. You can see that that's a roundabout way to do it. What I could have done was clicked here and gone down to the bottom and made it some sort of color, pukey color that stands out. And change the line thickness using the properties down here as well on that toolbar. Daily, on some screens, I can't remember where the default is, you might find that this particular toolbar, which I think is styles, is docked at the top in your window. I've rearranged mine to be in this particular sequence. So that's comparative percent performance. So the vertical axis is percent change. Here is the 0 date. We can change the style here too. It's already dotted red. Start date, 2nd of October. And you can actually drag that across the chart and watch this change as you go. You could also change the periodicity from daily to weekly for one stock at a time, which is a bit of a pain, but it can be done. The one thing I haven't shown you that did get into the minutes, I'm just looking for my minutes. Here they are. The one thing that got in here that I haven't shown you yet is, and some of you will know about this, is the detailed watch list. Now, detailed watch list, and a number of people find that they've been automatically generating one of these without even trying. I'm looking, here we go. I'll just close this price chart that I've got, bottom left corner, click on the cross. If I double click on banks, double click on here, instead of clicking once to display it at the bottom, I will get this detailed watch list. It's the same as right click on banks and choose view detailed watch list. So if we're looking at a very long list of stocks here, it's slightly longer. I've got 35 stocks in this one, and I can sort this by percentage movement and reverse sequence. This is a more modern version than what we looked at before. We can sort this table by a whole lot of things. It shows the quantity asked, the sell price, we can change the sequence, quantity bid, high, low, volume, highest volume movers out of that watch list of mine, a whole lot of things. And you can customize this list under the format menu option, current view, customize current view. And this dialog box pops up where the displayed columns are shown on the right. You can remove one or more of those or resequence them and add other columns so that you can actually view different things, not just what's there by default, and then save the view with a particular name, save as. So that's a quick look at the detailed watch list. And then we've got to the end of what we've got to talk about in terms of market and stock movements. Now, perhaps none of that was useful for some of you, but BullCharts, as some people keep reminding me, has a whole lot of features in it, many of which many people don't need to use or know about. But sometimes it's a case of, well, let's have a quick look at what's in BullCharts and see if it's useful. And if it is, make a note and start using it. And if it's not useful, then we'll just forget about it, move on to the next one. So that's the end of that. Once again, for anyone who's got live data, I think this screen refreshes during the day and it actually flashes for you. So if you've got live data, if you don't, then it's still useful because of what it can show you for the performance. But again, that's only today's performance, not weekly or monthly. If everyone's BullCharts version that they're running is behaving and performing okay, there's no need for you to download a newer version. A number of the Melbourne users are still using version 5.1.106. That's okay. I think that's the version I've still got on my laptop next to me here too. And in 5.1.123, which I'm running here now, you can't tell any difference. If we've got time, I did prepare for last week a list of stocks that came up in my scan the previous Friday, which were performing well. Watching stocks from my week as of the 19th of November. So here's a list of them. It's 26. And they're sorted in a particular sequence. And we can quickly go through them. For anyone who's been told or is thinking that at the moment there's not much to buy in our market, then this might help answer that sort of question. And maybe we could have picked the start of this trend. Now, these stocks are out of the XJO, the S&P ASX 200. So they're not small cap by any means. So this one's up 60% since late September. So that's 2 months from that low. I know it's hard to spot them and ride them. That's up 60%. Aristocrat Leisure has been trending higher for a while. Hasn't been for the last couple of days. We're not recommending you buy these. Qantas, I hate Qantas, but that's a different story. It's not based on customer experience. Qantas has been up for 3 months. Xero was slowly trending higher back through September, October, and has rallied in November. Net Wealth Group, another one has been up. Let's just turn on. Where is it? This one here. And now click here. 36% or better. 41. Block. Gaps a lot. And it's been up. Hub 24. Up 50% since August, or more even if you go back further. Oh, 85 net's nearly doubled. Oh dear. Let's go back further. It's more than doubled in 1 year. Some of us wouldn't have stayed in it while it had retracements. News Corp is up. Pro Medicus is up. Life 360 is up. Wise Tech Global had a big crash here recently. Had a big crash here. That's when the CEO hit the headlines in the news. What was the word I read in the press? Salacious. Insignia Financial was up over a few weeks. Sigma Healthcare REA Group, Judo Capital, Helia Group, up not as nicely. Zipco, how much is that up? 185%. Get out. Why haven't I been in that? QBE, rallying the last few weeks. Credit Corp, Commonwealth Bank we know about. It was only $120 back in June. It touched 160 yesterday. Car Group, ANZ, not so well the last couple of days. De Grey Mining, Seek Limited, and NRW Holdings, and JB Hi-Fi. You would have noticed some of those paid dividends, went ex-dividend a few weeks ago and then paid. So there's a bunch of stocks that have been doing not too bad in the last few weeks. All right, we're getting down to the general business end of the meeting. As I mentioned earlier, the December Melbourne meeting and this webinar will both be 1 week earlier than normal. Melbourne session the 2nd Tuesday in December, not the 3rd, and the webinar will be the 3rd Tuesday, not the 4th. Russell 2000 Index we talked about earlier. The Investors Traders Lunch in Melbourne. I'm running on Wednesday the 18th, I mentioned. We've got a few items that are standing items on the agenda here because someone suggested them in the Melbourne session, pre-COVID actually, like cash rates. Where do I park large amounts of money while I'm not trading the market? No one in the Melbourne session has offered an update on that in the last couple of years, so I might have to take it off. The Google Drive is where we put a lot of presentations, and when Des talks about his indicators and scans and others, and David as well, a lot of those go up on the Google Drive. Happy to show you the Google Drive at some stage if you want. And if anyone wants access, happy to add more users to the Google Drive access. That's about all. 9:15, been going a bit more than an hour. All right, well, if there's nothing else, we might as well end the session and you can get back to enjoying, if you're in Melbourne, the hot, muggy weather. You need the air conditioning on. If you're up north, it might be different.
No, it's the same up here, hot and muggy.
Oh, okie dokie.
Yeah, same in Canberra.
Same in Canberra.
Yep, I think it's 17 degrees.
Okay, and humid.
At the moment? Yes, very humid.
Okay, Raph, that's interesting to hear.
Well, it feels humid to me anyway.
Yeah, yep, no problem. All right, everyone, let's wrap it up and call it quits. Thank you all for your interest and participation. I'll stop recording this. Can see how to pause it and recording. There we go. Thanks, everyone, and I will get this edited very soon, I hope, and up on the web in case anybody wants to explore these features some more. All right, thanks, everyone, and we'll look forward to being in touch again in the near future. Thanks.
Thanks, Robert. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks, Robert. Good night, everyone.
Welcome. Good night.